Welcome. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios here in the UK, you're watching the BVTV Top Gun Sales and Marketing channel. Today is a first for me. In the past near 500 interviews here on our BizVision channels, I've missed interviewing anyone from the vast, developing and exciting Lion King continent of Africa. Now, that may have been written in the stars, because my guest today is fondly referred to by many as the king of premium clients acquisition, and by others such as Africa.com as Africa's #1 marketing magician, something he takes great pride in. That's not a Lion King pun, by the way. Africa is vast with 1.26 billion population. If you combine the USA, China, India, Europe, and Japan, they all fit into the continent of Africa. The US can fit comfortably no less than 3 times. The UK over 120 times. What a potential. My guest is the founder of Africa's fastest growing digital marketing agency, Havanzer Marketing, and author of the acclaimed book, Deep Pocket Clients. So let's go to Lagos, or is it Lagos in Nigeria, and say welcome to Johnson Emmanuel, Jambo, or is it Marvo, or just plain hello, Johnson?
Hey, Malcolm. Thank you for having me on the show. I am on fire. I'm excited to be on the show today. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, well, you're not on fire because it's really hot over there, is it?
Yes, I'm literally on fire because it's hot over here. I think it's 32 degrees Celsius.
We're about 32 degrees minus, it's cold. Anyways, hopefully we're going to get our viewers and listeners on fire as we talk about marketing and we talk about Africa, aren't we?
That's the whole idea. Let's get them on fire.
Yeah. Johnson, I'm delighted that you're kindly guesting on our enterprise in BVTV Top Gun channel. Now, in this BVTV show, I'll be talking to Johnson in 3 parts. First, I'll ask him about the world of marketing in Africa, what works and what doesn't. After all, it's somewhere many businesses, especially here in the UK, would love to sell into, and how Havanzer Marketing has been successful. In part 2, we'll move to talking about his acclaimed book, Deep Pocket Clients. What's it about? What's in it? And I'm asking him to give you just 2 or 3 of what he thinks are his best pieces of advice from the book. In part 3, we'll have a serious talk on his thoughts on the future of marketing, especially in Africa. The pandemic has changed many things. Conscious marketing is fast emerging. The internet is constantly changing. Does that mean we need to change our business model? And if so, how? But Johnson, before we get into our 3-part talk, can you please briefly introduce yourself to my viewers and listeners? Who is Johnson Emmanuel? What makes you jump out of bed in the morning and greet the sun in the morning? And where does your passion lie? Go ahead, Johnson.
Wow. My passion, I'm very passionate about marketing. I'm passionate about growing businesses. Like, I want to grow business. When I say grow business, I want to scale them. What I mean scale, I want to help them make more money. That's what makes me happy. Like, that's what makes me get to the bed at night, and instead of sleeping and dozing off, I'm awake thinking, what do I do? How do I take this business? How do I make this business more money? So that is what I'm all about. I'm all about growing businesses, and I'm incredibly passionate about it. And I have no apology for that at all. So I am the founder of the fastest growing marketing agency, Havanzer. So I got into marketing into online marketing specifically in 2004. If you remember, in Africa, if you followed African incident, in Africa, 2000 was when the internet boom happened in Africa. In 2004, I got fully professionally into marketing. So I started a company. We're making some good headway. Then in 2008, I decided to make a huge shift. My goal was that because internet was still very new in Africa, most people, the economy was fairly stable. It was fairly stable. So most people didn't really understand the importance of, if you try to even sell any stuff about internet, they didn't take it so much. So I made a switch. And looking back, it was the best thing I did. So 2008, I decided that we're going to go get clients outside of Africa. We're going to look for clients outside of Africa. That was where Havanzer was born. But at the time, it wasn't called Havanzer. At the time, it was actually called Corey Fusion. So we started that brand in 2008. We got it incorporated and stuff like that in the US and all those kind of things because I wanted to really get the big stuff. Look, I'm a big dreamer. I dream really big. Even though I'm an African, even though people believe that Africans and this and that, but I just felt it was time to dream big. So I was dreaming big. I said, look, I was going to build a big business that will have employees from all over the world, Americans, Canadians, Britons, all these kind of guys on my payroll. That was the dream I had. And I didn't know, I wasn't sure how it was going to come true, but that's the dream I had, in my mind. And so I was a one-man riot squad at the time. And although I have other business that was going on as well, but I just was very passionate about this marketing thing. So 2008, we started getting clients from the United States, getting clients from abroad, but paying for clients to send us money was a challenge. Like if you wanted to hire us, to send money to us was a challenge. How? Because PayPal wasn't working. As this moment as I speak to you, PayPal is not working here in Nigeria. Wow. So it's not working. Like you can only make payments with PayPal, but you cannot receive payment. So that's what at the time. So what I was doing, when I get a client, you want to work with the client will have to make payment through Western Union money transfer. So sometimes the client would drive kilometers, long distance to go make payment, and then I will have to go to the nearest bank to cash the money. And it was good. It was good until I felt and I was losing clients at the time. We were losing some clients who were not making payment because they felt it was too far. Okay, so the time I said, what do we do? I had to incorporate the company in the United States. I had to travel to the US, and I have to do all those stuff, and then. And that's how we incorporated, and the business took off. Although it didn't take off properly, we had a lot of hiccups and all those things. But the business took off very well in 2016. Like we took off like crazy. Like started growing year on year. Our growth rate was amazing. So right now, I took that one company. Right now, we've had several other companies. Like right now, as we speak, we had 50 plus team on my team now. And the dream of having foreigners, like what you call the white people on that team, have been fulfilled. So I'm excited. And so we are in the US, so we serve clients from the US and a client from the UK, Europe, and other parts of, even in Asia, we have clients scattered all over the world, and we have team as well all over the world as well. So
brilliant,
it's fun.
Brilliant, yeah, and an interesting challenge as well. So Johnson, let's start our talk in part one. Tell us about the world of marketing in Africa. What works and what doesn't? I mean, for example, is there internet around there? And you've just been talking to us about payment challenges. After all, though, Africa is somewhere many businesses would love to sell into, especially those from here in the UK, and especially after Brexit. And how has Havanzer Marketing been so successful?
Okay, fine. In Africa, I don't want you to believe that Africa is just one place for, Africa, don't just think it's just a place it's a poverty-stricken place. It's not true, really. Even though the politicians want to position it that way. In marketing, we talk about pre-framing. The politicians want to frame it that way so that they can get international aid. So, because international aid is free money. Yeah. You're right. So they just like that. They don't want to tax their brain. They just want to sit down. So Africa is a place that you can make a lot of money. If you want to make investment, if you want to invest in Africa, you can make a lot of money. But you also need to be ready to face the policy's challenges, because one policy can actually cripple your entire business overnight. A government can just wake up, your business is thriving, they come up with one policy and you are gone.
Yeah.
But it is actually with the people, with the African people, with the people you're going to sell to your market, it's a great place. You can make lots of money. And marketing in Africa is good. It's great. I play in market all over the world. I understand market. Like we've played in over 60, and we still play in over 60 industries where we're playing directly or our client is playing there. And because our client is playing there, by extension, we are the one playing in that market. So because I haven't played in all this market and in various countries, Africa is not as complicated. When the buying behavior of Africa is not as complicated as the buying behavior of somebody in the UK, somebody in Europe, somebody people who are naturally conservative. So that's what I've noticed. And then like somebody in the US who needs to, you need to have a lot of complicated marketing system and solution to sell to them. But with Africa, it's not like that. So it's an exciting place. And if you want to jump on board, particularly tech is a huge thing right now in Africa. So if you want to jump on board, that's the best time to jump on board. Like there's a lot of opportunity to actually make a lot of money right now. And that's why, because someone was asking me the other day, so why did you leave the US and then come back to in Africa? And I've been in Africa for some years. I just visit the US once in a while. The reason is simple, is because there's so much money to be made in Africa. That's the truth. But excellent. You're going to face lots of challenges. For instance, I talked about receiving payment. You want to sell stuff for somebody to pay you outside of Africa. You're going to go through straight. Now, before it was very difficult, but now there are many tools you can use to actually receive payment from anywhere in the world right now. So there are many tools. That problem has been solved because there are many tools that can be used to solve that problem. But if you want to play, if you have stuff to sell, don't neglect the African market. I mean, talking about population of over lots of people, close to 1.5 billion people. So you don't want to neglect that market, particularly if you are selling, if you have stuff that you want to sell that you believe will help the people.
Yeah, wonderful. And just before we move into part two, I want to remind viewers and listeners of your website URL, because if they want to get into this vast continent of Africa, then Johnson, you've convinced me you're the guy to talk to. So let me read that out. Viewers, obviously, you can see it on the screen behind me. It's all the W's, Havanzer. And I'll spell that out for listeners. It's HAV for victory, HAVANZER, Havanzer.com. You can also link from there to Johnson's personal website. And so just remind you, Havanzer.com. Johnson, time for part two. Let's move to talking about your acclaimed book, Deep Pocket Clients. What's it about? What's in it? And will you kindly give me, my viewers and listeners, 2 or 3 of what you think are your best pieces of advice from the book?
Okay, no, Deep Pocket Client is an amazing book. And I'm not saying that because I'm the author of the book. It's actually a great book, right?
Yeah, well, I would hope you would say it was a good book.
But the truth is, from reviews from people who have bought the book, and it has helped them. Okay, so I'll tell you why I wrote the book. The reason is this: working with us, because we work with clients around the world, and working with us is very expensive. It's very expensive to work with us because we get you the result that you seek. Marco, we were discussing before we went live. So we're discussing about how I'm incredibly crazy about return on investment, and how I believe that marketing should not be an expense. It should be an investment. If you invest $1 in marketing, you should get $2 or $3 out. So because that is not happening, most businesses and most people believe marketing is an expense. And in actual sense, marketing is not an expense. So I wrote that book because working with us is a bit expensive unless you have the budget to work with us, number one. Number two, I wrote the book because even if you have the budget to work with us, we may not even take you on. The reason is because we have clients who are booked 6 months ahead waiting for us. So it's a bit difficult to really get us to work with you. For our agency, that's if you want our agency to do that. But for our consulting, coaching, we can navigate stuff, for you. We can create stuff for you. But for the agency, you want us to really handle it for you, it's going to be a bit distinct. So the reason these are the 2 reasons I wrote the book. Because for those people who cannot afford us, and for those people who really want to see our proprietary systems, like, people say, like, you guys are doing crazy things, you're doing amazing stuff. How are you guys doing it? So I've been in marketing for over 17 years now. So in this 17 years, I've learned a lot. I've developed a lot of proprietary systems which help us solve the problem of our client. So Deep Pocket Clients came because those clients, I believe strongly that if you want to grow a business, if you really want to grow a big business, I believe that your business model will either make you or mar you. That's the truth. That's what I believe. If you pick the wrong business model, you will be out of business within time. And you may be there, look like you're making money, but it's only a question of time. And then everything will be exposed. You will see that you're not making money. So That's why I decided to write a book, Deep Pocket Client. It's about helping you get clients who can actually pay you so that you can grow your business. If you want to grow a business, you have options. For instance, you could go to the bank and get a bank loan. Now, if you go to the bank and get a bank loan, decide to get a bank loan, you'll be ready to cover as much as, maybe in Africa, for instance, maybe 20% minimum in some places. In some places, it's as high as 25% of that loan. So imagine, Malcolm, you going to the bank and collecting loan at 20% rate. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's the first option you can take. You can take that option. The second option you can take is chase investors. You run after investors. You like they get investors to come and invest in the business and all those kind of thing. But again, getting an investor, it's not going to be very easy for you. Like getting investors to come to your business, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. So that's the second option. Alternatively, you can take the third option. The third option that grew our business, a bootstrap business, and it grew it from where it was as a one-man riot squad to where it is today. Like a dream for many businesses. So what we did was to know, let's go after clients who can afford our services. Because if we can get those clients who can afford our services and we provide amazing result for them, they will stick with us for as long as possible. So instead of going for a client who can pay you $10, what about if you go for clients who can pay you $100?
Yeah.
So you get more money to play around with, to grow your business and invest in, and then you work with less clients. That's the whole idea. The issue is, how do you do it? And that's part of the thing that I talked about a lot in the book, and how you can do it with predictability, reliability, and consistency. That's what I talked about in the book. That's why people all over the world seem to be getting the book and loving it as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were chatting there, Johnson, that the client that's going to put more money in is showing a better commitment than the $10 client, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And commitment to the country, I think, as well, because what obviously I've learned from my times in Kenya, Sri Lanka, and places like that, they don't want to see foreign companies coming in and just taking everything. They want to see those companies putting back into it. I've just been interviewing in Madagascar about graphite, which is a major opportunity because of electric vehicles, and the graphite company I've been interviewing in Madagascar is so focused upon philanthropic activity. It's going to make money from the graphite it's going to take from Madagascar and sell that graphite to Tesla and all around the world, but it wants to put back into the country as well.
That's the whole I'm saying, because here's the thing. For me, I believe that entrepreneurs are the best people in the world. They're the people that will save the world, not the politicians. I don't trust the politicians. I don't believe them. I don't believe anything they say. If they tell me good money, I got to be sure it's actually money. I don't trust anything they say. I don't trust their promises. And they seem to make the life of entrepreneur very easy. You need to look for clients who can actually afford what you are selling. How do I mean? When you sell stuff to those kind of clients, you're not just selling a product or a service. You are selling what I call transformation. And that's what people buy, because you're moving them. You're giving them a huge leap. You are taking them from where they are to a very big place. And this stuff works. It works for everybody. No matter what you sell, mom and pop shops, it works for every single person. You just need to know how to do it, the process to talk, to follow, to do it, so that you can do it well. I believe that there are clients that you need. You see, Malcolm, pricing is a big issue in business. Yeah. Most businesses don't know. Look at Apple. For instance, Apple, for instance, is a $2 trillion company right now as we speak. Apple is a company that makes minimum 57% margin. That's what they make. Minimum 57% margin. So why won't that company be a monster? It will be a big monstrous company. But some people operate at 5% margin, 10% margin, 15% margin. You can't grow your business the way you should grow, the way you need to grow. Now, investors will naturally come to you versus you chasing investor. Like, I don't chase investor. I don't believe in chasing investor, really. I'm not saying it's wrong if you want to chase investor. Nothing absolutely wrong. But for me, maybe I'm just proud African guy. I like people to come and knock on my door versus me going to knock on their door. Because when they come to me, I can give them the condition. I stand in a better position to tell them what I want and what I don't want, versus when I go to meet them, I'm at their mercy. So I just want to be in the position where they come to me instead of me going to meet them. That's how I operate.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Okay, let's move now to part 3 and have a serious talk on your thoughts on the future of marketing, especially in Africa. The pandemic has changed many things. Conscious marketing is fast emerging, where marketing is concerned about the planet, people, and profit. The internet is constantly changing with AI and machine learning. Does that mean that we need to change our business models? And if so, how?
Okay, so in Africa right now, and indeed around the world, because I play around the world. So I play in the UK, in the US, and I understand all those things. So now, I believe that because of the pandemic, like I was telling you before we started recording, I said most businesses will be cutting down their marketing costs right now. Yeah. They're busy cutting down because they believe marketing is an expense. That's the wrong thing to do. That's the absolutely wrong thing to do. That's like you pressing your panic button. That's not what you should do. What you should do right now, if there's anything you need to do, is to even increase your marketing spend. So long, now there's a condition to that. So long you're getting return on your investment. If you're not getting investment on your marketing expense or your marketing investment, then you need to either change your marketing strategy. If you're working with anybody, you need to change those people and get people who will help you get marketing experience. Now, you don't need to play defensive. This is the time to be very, very offensive than ever before. Like, this is the time to be crazily offensive. Yeah. It's time to go, and keep going. This is what you should be doing. So marketing in Africa, I see many African companies, even the banks, the big banks, and then, they just doing all manner of crazy things. And I often say to African people, this is also the time that I believe that you shouldn't just stick to Africa, to one market. People they sell to one state, for instance, or to one country, to one territory. They stick to that place. What about if you can diversify and begin to sell to people outside? What about that? Like, if you, instead of creating local product, right, you create a product that solves local problem. What about if there are people who are also having the same problem outside of Africa that you can give that product to? Now, the way the world is right now, 85 to 89% or so of people, of our clients, are outside the shores of Africa. So if that's the case, everybody can have clients from anywhere in the world. Change your market. My advice now is change your market. Like, if your country is not so good, the economy is not so good. A lot of countries in Africa are going through recession, because as a result of the COVID issues. So if that's your experience, this is the time for you to begin to change your market. Go to a new market and look for a market. Look for, I call it the 96-4 method. So you look for the smallest market that will give you 96% of your revenue. Now, you get to a market, look for the segment of that market that is affluent enough to grow your business. That's what you should do. Most people do the opposite. They look for 96% of the customers that will give them 4% of their revenue. And you work your ads out. That's not what you should be doing. Be smart. Africa, it's a great continent. Like, a lot of stuff are happening in Africa. But if you do stuff the way people do, all the big advertising agencies, who are just interested in telling you in ad and all those things. Okay, I was speaking with someone the other day, was telling me how you want to mount billboard and all those things all over the place. Nothing wrong with billboard and all, actually, but I'm saying that if you're a business that is not making so much money, you want to do some direct response marketing so that you can get response quickly and quickly grow your business as an African company. That's what I think. Yeah,
brilliant. I really like your energetic approach as well to everything. So just let me remind before I finish your URL for everybody to follow through again. Obviously, viewers, you can see it on the screen behind me, havanzer.com. And again, for listeners, let me read that out. And it's spelled as H-A-V, V for victory, H-A-V-A-N-Z-E-R, havanzer.com. And obviously, you can find the link through to the Deep Pocket Clients book there as well. and a link through to Johnson's own website. But sadly, I must leave the warmth of the country and the people of Nigeria. And as I'm saying that, Johnson's just wiping his brow. But I leave as I hope you do also, having learned so much more about this great continent and the vibrancy of marketing and the opportunity that is in Africa. But above all, some great ideas and thinking you can use wherever you are. Thanks, Johnson Emmanuel, for a great interview.
Thank you for having me, Malcolm. Thank you so much. So guys, just go in, do the work. I've heard a lot. So go there, do the work, because if you don't do the work, you're never going to get the result.